My name is Thumasathit, and I'm an industrial distribution major at Texas A&M, class of 2020, and I have struggled with depression and anxiety throughout my life. It was a number of circumstances that led to this gradual decline in my mental health. Initially, my feelings were just confusion of just why do I have these negative thoughts coming in, why are these things happening? I was just distant from everything, not only God, but also just from the people at school, from my family, and people at church. I just felt like these things were causing me pain in some way, and I just wanted to retract from all that. At first, I thought that these feelings were just a matter of just having some bad days, or it's just kind of like a phase that I'm going through, but I slowly realized that that was never going away. So for 3 years, I didn't talk to anybody about it, not family, friends, any counselors or pastors or anything like that. I didn't talk to anybody. And it wasn't until when I went to college I decided to seek counseling. And then with it being so prolonged, I slowly, gradually started coming to the conclusion that I may be struggling with depression. For me, my low point in my story of depression would be my spring semester, my freshman year. So I just had a series of really tough circumstances that happened to me at the height of all these feelings and a lot of anxiety as well. I went to the counseling office in the morning, and then every single counselor was gone that morning. Why is it that just kind of safe space for me, the counseling office, a place that I could always go to and just unload all these feelings, at that very moment that I needed it most, it was taken away from me. And really, I felt like God abandoned me at that moment. That lowest day, I went up to a parking garage at my apartment, and then I imagined it's like, at this point, what is stopping me from, I guess, hurting myself? All this pain right now is just so excruciating. Why am I here? Out of the blue, I just get a message from a Bible study leader I just met at Grace Bible Church a few days prior, and he was just saying, like, hey, I'm about to go up to this parking garage in about an hour just to chill and hang out. And then realized that he was coming to the same parking garage that I was at the very moment. That is just too much of a coincidence. Right before getting that text, I knew that I was at my very lowest point. And so when I got that text, I realized that through this random text message with the absolute best timing, that God was there for me at that very moment. And so with these two guys that I literally just met a few days prior, I was just able to express to them what was going on that day. And I realized the power of individuals in a Christ-driven community. One of the most influential passages in the Bible for me is James 1, and it talks about how sometimes God uses pain to be able to teach us, and that's something that took me a very long time to be able to figure out and accept, but I realized that God has a plan for us, and it is always for our benefit. During my freshman year, I started going to counseling, but that was the only person that I opened up to. And so when that one person wasn't available for me, it was just very difficult for me to get through that time. With a Christ-centered and driven community, I realized that I was able to have multiple people support me. God has a more consistent part of my life every single day, a present impact on my life all day, every day. For me, what gets me up in the morning is that I want to be able to share truth with people, and that want to show them how different life is with Christ and dealing with things like mental health. There are so many other people around me that have also struggled with mental health. It's not just me. This is just a very normal problem that even very strong believers also go through. I had depression, but then it took me 3 years to be able to finally act on that. I don't want that for anybody else, and I pray that people realize that they should not be waiting that long, and I should be an example of what not to do. That shame or guilt is just something that holds us back from being able to live the life that God wants for us.